Hello, this is Balance 47s, and today I want to talk to you about superstitions and things, weird sayings that we actually grew up on, especially as people of color. Most of us are, I'm going to say, victims of that. We really have grown up on some really weird superstition, despite whatever our religious beliefs are or whatever we believe in today. It's really weird because we did grow up on some really weird things. And I remember when I was pregnant back in the day, and they used to tell me I shouldn't take baths. And I'm like, what? They say that a pregnant woman should take showers because if she let me get this right, because I can't remember exactly what the saying was. If you took a bath while you were pregnant, but whatever it wasn't good, and stuff like that. That's just a prime example of the things that they do just to put those kind of, I don't know if it's a fear that they want to put in us to make us feel a certain way, or it's just something I believe that they grew up on as well, and they just kind of passed it on. I'll never forget one time I was working in a cafeteria years ago, and I was standing up eating, and I've never heard this one. And the lady said, "Why are you standing there eating?" And I'm like, "What?" I said, "Because I want to." Right? And she was like, "It's bad luck to stand up while you eat. Your house will be poor." What? And she was serious. She was like, sit down. And I'm like, so you know what, just to accommodate the woman, I sat down. But it's stuff like that just like, what the hell did you say? And for us to believe that foolishness it's crazy. I believe, superstition and things of that nature. Those type of sayings are extended from like voodoo, Africa, places like that, and it's just things we kind of grew up with, and they kind of carried over with us, and they really make you like, ooh, because to this day, it's certain things I'm like, oh my God, did I just do that? I shouldn't have did that, I don't believe it, but it's like it was so drilled in me as a younger kid. My mother always used to say that I broke her luck with playing the numbers. My mother was a number player. She played the lottery. That was Maryland way. You can't win if you don't play. You got to play to win. That's their motto. So my mother would play. She would hit, and I remember one time it was like repetitively she was hitting a lot, and I was like, "Wow, you hitting a lot." That's all I said. She stopped hitting, and for some reason she thought that was some kind of weird omen because I said that. It's just the stuff that we grow up with, and I feel like they're just borders, things that they put in our way to make us kind of not only check ourselves for some reason, but to stop us from doing things. I think that's just foolish. I have a niece that's really, it's bizarre how superstition she is, and some people I get that some people might have a certain way of certain things that they do to make it feel like there's good luck coming, but we're talking about the ones that just feel like if you did this, it's bad luck, and which is crazy to me. I just don't believe that, and it's but it's strange as I say it. Sometimes I do believe it. Not that I believe it. It's, oh my gosh, I can't even really explain what I'm trying to really say, because that's just strange to me. It's just, how are you going to, if you split a pole, you're going to have bad luck, or you break a mirror? Yes. Where did they get the 7 years from? 7 is a divine number, first and foremost. So where are the 7 years bad luck coming from? So I'm like, where are they getting this stuff from? And, I want to look into it and see where a lot of this stuff is really extending from, because I find myself, even to this day, doing, I'm like, oh my gosh, did they say something about that's bad luck, or or if something happened by mistake, and then that superstition will come to you all of a sudden. You're like, man, and then you start worrying about this kind of things, and that's what I believe brings on the so-called bad luck. Seriously, I believe that, when you start to worry about whatever the situation is, it'll appear that because of what happened, different events, negative events will start to take place. And that's where we connect the two. Like, it was sorry, it was connected to that in some way when it really wasn't. It was just us worrying ourselves into it. And, you know, and I do stuff like that all the time. I'm like, oh man, I got to break this habit. You know, I grew up, like I said, I grew up with an older parent. And, you know, she comes from the South, which in my opinion, I think we all are related. I really do. As strange as that may seem, because I ain't met no one yet that's black or of color that does not have a relative in the Carolinas. I don't care what part of the United States you live in, you got relatives in the Carolinas. Now, if you look at the Carolinas, they ain't that big. And the houses are spread out. They're real far from each other. So I'm like, how is everybody black got somebody down south that's related to them? So somehow I think we all connected, but that's just my weird philosophy on looking at things. And, you know, I'm like, how everybody I meet got relatives down south? Really? Whether it's North or South Carolina, it's there in the Carolinas. And, you know, them southern states. Now, you got Alabama, you got Mississippi, you got Georgia and places like that, New Orleans and stuff like that. Now, I will say this. I don't have any family that I know of in those southern states, but it's possible, you know. And think about it. All the southern states. I guess that's where the slaves were in the southern states. So naturally, there are some heritage there from us. And there are some of us that still have our relatives that are still down in those southern states, and a lot of us came up north or even, you know, west coast or whatever. And of course, some of our relatives are there, but there is no way in hell everybody you know and ran across that black got people in the Carolinas that's related to them. I'm like, wow, well then we all related. Hell, that's like they said, we all are truly related. It's just a little thing that I threw together, but I do think it got some fact to it, you know. But I know I kind of read off the subject a little bit, but technically I haven't, because it's still a down south way of thinking, you know. They really kind of grew up on those type things, and they just instilled it in all of us. And trust me, I grew up with so many of them. You know, umbrella in the house. Yeah, I never understood where they get that from. How the concept of having an umbrella open in your home brings bad luck. Really, stepping on a crack. About to break your mother back. Now, I don't know if that was actually a rhyme and somebody made it into a superstition. I don't know. Splitting the pole. If you see, oh my gosh, if you see a black cat. Black, number one, that's one of my favorite colors. I love black clothing, black cars, stuff like that. Now, my furniture isn't black. I don't want to, you ain't gonna walk in my house, see dark walls and things like that. Of course not, because I love light. I love brightness. I do. But that's just one of my favorite colors. It's just, to me, the way I look at it is very sexy. It's very slimming. It's very alluring. You know, it's just got this really powerful presence about it and stuff like that. That's the way I see black. Now, you got other people see black totally in a different light. Literally a different light. They look at it, oh, it's the dark side of things and this and that and the other. I saw this movie called The Knowing, and it kind of flipped the script on you what the angels were. They looked like these alien type people. They were human-like, but they had very pale faces, but they dressed in black. That's what their thing. They was always going around dressed in black. And at the end, you found out they weren't dark angels. They were actually angels. And it was really cool. And I like that they kind of gave you an idea of how we perceive things versus what they really are. Because it's just a color. It really is. Just like white. White is not the divine all and the see all and, oh, it's this, that, and that. No, I don't know where we're getting this kind of thing from. But I guess people that have passed away said they've seen the light, you know. It's a light, a bright light that you walk into. I kind of get that concept. Do I believe in stuff like that? I believe that whatever the person says did happen. I do. I don't question too many people on what they really feel. I would never judge you on the fact that you said one thing and someone else believes another. Because who am I to say? Now, if you're out making a story or fabricating a story, then yeah, okay. And sometimes you can pick up on people who fabricated a story. Or I've watched things on YouTube that was like, no, that's not real. They're just trying to get your attention and get those views. I get that. But no, you're not going to fool me into that. I just move on. I don't really judge it. You know what I'm saying? But you got a lot of people that judge everything and want to, defy whether or not it's real. I feel like when a person feel really genuine about something that took place to them that might have been, you can say paranormal, or, you know, just out of this world type of normal, then, I mean, if they genuinely felt something, absolutely, absolutely. Like I told you guys, I know what they call it, sleep paralysis these days, but I know exactly what that's like, you know, and that's not a superstition. There's no connection to that. I've never read or heard or anyone say, you know, if this happened, that will happen to you. No, they just kind of tell you their experiences, and the next thing you know, you're experiencing it. You know, what it is. Too many people have experienced that for you to tell me that that's not real. I'm number one in my world with it. I know. I've had it happen to me numerous times. It's quite miserable. It's very scary. I remember saying, like I said, the last time it was on me, I was like, I don't know what you are, but you need to remove yourself. I don't know what you are. It's not a good, pleasant feeling, so it's got to be something negative. And why you're here, I don't know, but you need to go. You really need to go. So I'm laying there saying, well, what are you trying to accomplish by, you know, keeping me still? What is this? I can breathe, I can think, but I can't move. You know, what is this? Why? You know, and I just could not figure out what this thing was. I still don't. A lot of people, they like I said, they put another name on it now. When my mother told me about it, you know, she said it was the witch around your back. So that really creeps you. You know, she's from the South. You know, well, the Carolinas, down south. She's from North Carolina, but still. And that was my thing. I mean, those are the kind of things that I grew up on, you know, them bizarre superstitions, and they can really stagnate you and really creep you out if you're not careful to realize that some of this stuff is just sayings. And it has a lot to do with your own beliefs. It has to do with what you're putting into it, the energy. If I believe in this, of course it's going to have a negative effect on me, because now I'm believing that having that around me will make it negative towards me. So now I'm going to bring in the presence, because now I done drawn it in with my thoughts. I get that. I really, really do. And I'm learning that still, you know, because like I said, there's some things still I'm like, oh man, I don't think that's good luck, you know. You know, stuff like that. It's crazy that we grow up on stuff like that. And me personally, I'm not a fan of superstition. I'm not trying not to follow it, because I feel like it just creates more fear. That's all it does. It just keeps, it's going to keep fueling something that may not have been there in the first place, but you just keep adding to it, and now it doesn't build this repertoire with you that you really believe, because you done surrounded yourself with that belief. And I try to fight those things, and I'm still fighting some of them to this day. What are some of the ones that you guys have fought? Seriously, because I mean, I'm like, is that what? But when the woman told me about the standing up, I was like, I have never heard of that. And oh, let me give you this one. It's crazy because my husband said this one to me one day. I knew about the palm. If the palm of your hands itch, you got money coming. I didn't know it was a right or left hand. I never heard that one. I just always thought it was the palm of your hands. It didn't matter. It was the palm of your hands. If they itch, you had money coming. Now, it's some things you want to gravitate to, because, of course, it got something good behind it. So you want to fuel that energy, right? So when he said what hand it was, and I'm like, what damn difference does that make? He said, because if it's your right hand that itches, you get money. If it's your left hand that itches, you losing money. Oh, man. Why you tell me that? I was like, is he for real? I said, I ain't never heard that. He said, yeah, I grew up on that. And I was like, oh, damn. And to this day, if his hand itch, oh, we get some money. And I'm like, serious? And it's crazy. We really believe that stuff. And and if you're not careful, you'll catch it. You'll say, like, if your right hand do itch, especially now that he done put that in me, even though I didn't grow up with that one, he put that one in me. So now that I believe, and if the right hand that itches, I'll get money, I'll be looking. And then sometimes money will come. So it's like, like I said, I'm feeling it with my mind. I already see it. And sometimes a couple of days will go by, and I'm like, a couple of days have gone by now, And then I get money. I'm like, oh, that's why my hand was... Stuff like that. It's like, why would we do that to ourselves? I mean, seriously, I feel like, the mind is a very powerful tool. It really is. And to just feel ourselves off of craziness is just, it's even worse. It really is. It's even worse. But I believe that it's all in the mind. No matter how you look at it, it's the way we perceive it. You can get a group of people in a room. We're all coming together for one major cause. But in that cause or whatever we're meeting under, if there is an unbeliever amongst them, then they're not going to feel that presence. Whatever it is they're trying to conjure up or deal with, or, it's not going to happen for them because their beliefs are that their mind is not there. They're just not fully there with it. And when you're a child, you're at an impressionable age. People put these kind of things in you growing up. You believe. And then you grow into adulthood believing in that stuff. And then you also will pass it on to your children. I don't know. I can't say. My kids might can tell you some stories, but I don't recall telling them stories about, if you do that, that's bad. Look, I didn't like it. So I can't see me teaching them things like that. I didn't want to put that kind of fear into my children. I was the type parent that did not even tell my children that actually was a Santa Claus. I didn't say it was or wasn't. I just, whatever they wanted to believe in, it was fine by me. But my kids never came to me, is there a Santa? They never did that. It was like they knew I bought their things. And, and I would ask them every year, you give me a list and let me see how I can filter through whatever I can afford and get you what I really can afford to get you off the list. And that's what we did. My kids never believed in the fantasy. It's not that I'm against it. I'm not that kind of parent. I'm not against the fantasy because I think sometimes fantasy is very healthy. It's sometimes it's good to step outside of this world because you need it. But I wouldn't want to set a child up like that because I feel like when they do stuff like that, you let them down harder. Because I heard of some kids getting really hurt behind the whole Santa Claus thing, but... And, it's got a history behind the whole Santa, how they took, the Christ out of Christmas. It's a whole lot of stuff. But, I live in that materialistic world of Christmas. I'm one of the ones who go out there and shop. And I enjoy the holidays. That's just what we grew up on. As a matter of fact, they're the most memorable parts of my life, the holidays with my family, because I come from a big family. And that's some of the times that we really get together. It's around the holidays. So I love it. Absolutely. So, but my kids, it never was a missed thing. They didn't like, why didn't you have us believe in Santa Claus? They never questioned me about it. So I tried not to put that kind of stuff in my kids. I don't recall believing in Santa Claus. First of all, I don't. I really don't. I remember my mom used to hide things from me, like on Christmas. I don't recall her ever saying, Santa Claus bought you that, girl. No, ever. I don't recall none of that. I used to tell my mom what I wanted. And she get it when she get it, that kind of thing. Never did she say something about Santa Claus. So some of that stuff was instilled in me too, but I just didn't have them believe in certain things. I didn't like it. I was very uncomfortable. I'm very uncomfortable in the ooh world. Like that voodoo type thing. I don't get down with that kind of stuff. I don't mess with spells and things of that nature. So I wouldn't dare put my kids in a position to believe that, if you do this and you do that. Now, I will say this, though. I am a believer of holy oil. I know a lot of people like, it's just the oil. I know. Once again, it's a mind thing. I know I don't go to the church. I will get pure 100% olive oil. It holds a lot of great substances. It has a lot of value to it. It can do so many things across the board. And it's just something that they always use as holy oil. So, someone told me, they're like, you want it, make it yourself. Get some virgin, 100% virgin olive oil and put it in whatever you can put it in. Pray over it, and that's your holy oil. That's all you do. And that's what I did. It's just something, because I'm spiritual. I'm just a spiritual person like that. And because I'm spiritual, I try not to go on the superstition side of things. Because if you believe in God, there's a devil. Everybody knows this. So you cannot, have one and not have the other. And that's where that balance once again comes in that. You know, it's yeah, it really is. You got to take the good and you got to take the bad, because it's going to come at you both ways. You're going to get a bit of heaven and a bit of hell here on earth. People who believe this is hell, I would never believe that. I remember someone told me that recently. It was like, I believe that this is hell. I said, really? With all the great stuff that can go on that they don't shine the light on once again, they don't do that. You really believe this is hell? Really? Because of your life choices and the things that you made and causing all the hell in your own life. You believe this is hell. I believe this is, they said there's no such thing as purgatory. Well, purgatory to us as humans is a world caught in between another world, which means between heaven and earth, or heaven and hell, until maybe the resurrection or something, or whatever's going to take place to that judgment day where we're imminent to go to either place, okay? That's purgatory in the human sense. But purgatory to me is where we are. This is purgatory. Meaning we are already caught between the two worlds, the heaven and the hell. We got to make the choice here on earth. That's my way of looking at it. It's not that when we die, we in purgatory. A lot of people don't believe in that. A lot of people do. I believe that this is the world that we're in until those worlds, or wherever we need to be, is going to be chosen, or however we need to go. Not necessarily chosen, but wherever we're going. I'm a person, yes, I believe in the Trinity. I believe in God. I believe in God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost. That's how I grew up. And no, I don't have no regrets there, but I am spiritual. Now, if I'm a check an application and they ask me for my religious preference, I will say Christian, because those are the Christian doctrines that I grew up on. I did grow up under those doctrines, but I also studied, like I said, with the Baptists. I've studied with the Mormons. I studied with the Jehovah's Witnesses. I studied with Muslims. I studied with them, with so many different religions. I try not to be too close-minded about anything, you know. They have a lot of beliefs as well, you know, and they have like superstitions and things like that. So it's like, wow, you know. So I try to, because if you get caught up, you're gonna go overload and you're gonna shut down. And I'm quick to shut down, so I have to be able to, you know, once again pump my brakes. I gotta remember, you know, like you're just studying, you're just trying to get some information on where are they getting this information from, where are they coming up with this kind of stuff from. So, you know, and then you got this religion saying that's religion, and I don't judge. That's not, you know, because I like I said, I think we all have this divine purpose to be together and, you know, make a difference here on earth, and wherever that leads us, we will see. I do believe we will see it someday. And we're like, wow, so this wasn't the end. You know, that wasn't, I worried for nothing. I believe we're going to get wherever we're going to get and say that. I believe we're going to say that. Like, wow, we really did worry for nothing. It was no need to worry, because look where we are here, you know. That's my belief. And I don't believe we're here and this is it. No, I believe there is something else. I do believe there's another start somewhere else, and it's going to be way different of a journey. Will it be death there? No. I don't believe that the body will die twice once it's resurrected with the spirit, if it's resurrected with the spirit. But you know, that's scripture. That's what it says. You will be, you know, it says even the ocean will give up the ghosts, like bring out them bodies that died out there. So that's scary. That's scary for real. That's something. This is a lot of stuff to think about, but that's not superstition. These are just stories being told, whether you believe them or not. And that's what superstition is. It's like stories being told, whether you believe them or not. So whatever energy you're putting into it is what's going to conjure it up in your life. So I try to steer clear of all superstitions. I don't believe in the whole black cat thing. Spin around. How many times? You spin around a lot of times in order for to break the whatever you think that black cat is going to bring into your life. It's an animal and it's black. How you going to judge it? Because it's black. I mean, and it goes to show where you see black at. Like how you envision it as a dark thing. And I can see where they might look at it as a bad thing, because, you know, a lot of like negative spirits it's never a light by you. It's always something very dark near you. So I get that. I really do get where it comes from in the mind. But you also the mind is a tricky place. And you don't want to, you know, mistaken it, because it will mislead you if you let it. you know. So you have to be careful on the things that you're allowing to conjure up and come up around you. And I try to be very, very mindful of that. I don't like negative energy. I like positive energies. I do believe in herbs and spices and things like that you can put out there as well. I just, just for comfort reasons. But it's not a superstition. I can live with it or without it. You know, it's not something like I have to have it. You know, there's some people that really live by that mantra, like, I gotta have that in order to keep these negative energies out. I don't, no. I believe in God, and I believe that He will watch over us when we ask Him to, and He got our back when it's necessary. That's what I trust most of all. I really do. It's not always easy though. I'm not gonna sit here sugarcoat no. I'm definitely not a holy roller. I've never been one of them Bible pushing people. I will tell you what I know, but that's all I got. I'm not gonna sit here and make up a story. I'm not gonna give you something that you may be looking forward to getting, and it's not going to come from me because it's just not me. It really isn't. So those type stories and things that you hear, Bible-wise, is different. But when you're talking about when you grew up from the South or any of them southern states, I heard this, you do this there, that place there, you do. I'm like, man, are you serious? And I grew up like that. I really, really did. The palm itching, the money. Splitting a pole is bad. Walking under a ladder is bad luck. Stepping on a crack. I really don't think that was a superstition. I just believe it was something, I don't know, because it had a rhyme to it. And then how you going to break your mother's back? That's stupid. But what else? I'm trying to think of some with the superstitions. Like I said, the umbrella in the house. What else? Oh, don't talk on the phone during the thunderstorm. Even though nowadays, I don't know, because now we're dealing with towers. So it's not the wires that used to be back in the day that's running across all the neighborhoods to connect the phones and everything. So I don't know. I don't even know if that was considered bad luck. That was just a bit of advice, so to speak. You'd be like, that's advice. That's not like bad luck. They're just telling you, like, don't go walking out in the middle of a thunderstorm, like literally lightning with a metal rod, because it's going to draw the lightning. And so they're telling you, it's just a bit of advice. It's not superstition. So maybe I might have got that one mixed up. But, it's crazy the things that we believe in. And like I said, I'm always on a journey looking for something different. Like what is real and what's not. And what if reality is all what we really make of it? It's nothing more than that. It only become an existence because of you. You brought it into existence. Isn't that something I told you about the poltergeist? That was still mind-blowing to this day to me. How in the world I can bring in a negative presence that literally can move things people can see just in my own thoughts. So stuff like that makes you really wonder, is it just our minds that we just haven't tapped into that really not only stops us but gets us going? It's just our minds. It's just, a lot of people have said God is just a mind. It's in our minds. I don't know. I don't know what all the truth is, but that's not my belief about God. I do believe that there is something else out there, because man didn't make that universe. Man didn't make that water like that. I mean, man just didn't do that. You can say what you want to say, and they've done some powerful things, because I'm a science major myself. I love science, but you're not gonna tell me that's something man did, and they ain't never gonna be able to do it. It's really a lot to think about, and you can go in overload thinking about it. I've done it, and sometimes I have to just shut everything down after a while. But I just wanted to just tamper in on that for a minute, because it's crazy. I had those thoughts. These weird thoughts that come in my mind. And I'm like, let me go and record this, because this is crazy. What is superstition? What exactly is it? Where does it stem from? Maybe I'll make a video on where it comes from once I do the research, because I can research it too as well and see what's going on and see how that works, because I'm sure there's a history behind it. I know it got something to do with not only down south, but voodoo, and as you go deeper and deeper, it got something to do with in Africa, because that's something that they do. Because it's a lot of it stem around African Americans, most of it. So I just want to know where it all comes from. I don't like believing in that kind of stuff, so I try to shake it as much as possible. And if you want, you can leave some comments down below. Well, some of the things you heard, I don't know. Let me pump my brakes. I don't like to hear certain things. Because once you put it in my head, it's there. And I'm like, oh, why you tell me that? So I got to be real mindful of it, you know. But this is Balance for Sevens. Once again, I'm just speaking out today. I wasn't feeling really well, but I just wanted to talk to you guys. All right. Have a good one.